Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Jobless Weebs, number 136.
Yeah.
Whoa. And I'm Brian, and this is
Marco the Big Bro Mexican.
the one and only.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hopefully, like.
Oh.
I'm gonna be really scared if I see like another one. I was like, oh yeah, I'm the Big Bro Mexican, because I'm not sure if I can win the fight.
Oh, right. Okay. Nice.
Most of the time, I've avoided fights because of my size. So. But anyways, Brian, how are you?
Yep. Pretty good. Yeah, doing really great. This week has been really fantastic. I've caught up on a lot of stories. Pretty much all I do is, other than work and sleeping and eating, I look at what shows or things to read and watch and stuff. So it was really awesome. I caught up with Dungeon Nanashi. Oh, what a ride!
Oh boy!
Dude,
like,
yeah.
I can assume that you.
Yes.
You saw that.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, like
What a ride.
because it's like when you see Trigger, and then
Oh yes.
you see the first episode of Dungeon Meshi,
Yeah.
and you're like, huh, Trigger doing this, and then
Fantasy.
you see that scene. I think we all know what we're talking about, and if you don't know, just watch it and you'll see like,
Take a look.
ah,
Yeah.
Trigger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's why Trigger was used.
Yes. Oh, fantastic. Oh man. Yeah, and then I also tried a few other ones, like one of the new ones, Dragon Raja or Raja. It's the adaptation from the Chinese story.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that.
There's like a game too, but it was a Chinese series novels.
Is it like a fantasy one, or
It's a fantasy, but it's supposed to be like it's like the modern times, but only if some people believe in dragons, and these kids can like use superpowers, and it's like all in this super secret academy where you can only get by train.
Where have we heard that before?
Yeah. Unfortunately, there are no broomsticks, so no riding broomsticks. But I was like, man, like, what's going
It's like,
on?
fortunately,
And
no
it's a secret
copyright
train
infringement.
too. Yeah. Seriously. Man. Yeah. I'm like, man, what is up with this? And also Marshall. Well, but yeah, it's a. Dude, you gotta check out Dragon Raja.
Okay, yeah.
It is so wacky, man. Like, yeah. Oh man, I can't even say it because it'll. Oh man, it's just so weird. It won't even make sense if I mention this one part when he first gets to the academy. It's so weird. So yeah. I had a pretty good week. What about you?
I mean, if you see previous episodes, you can see like
Oh, yes.
from. I don't know when it's like I think 3 or 4 episodes ago. I was just like, yeah, it's great, and you
yeah.
feel like it's starting like going down, like
It's going down. Right.
And right now I'm like, okie
Okay.
dokie.
Oh yeah.
Like I
Okie
feel
dokie.
like Lucy, like at the end of Fall, I was like,
Yeah.
okie dokie.
Oh, that's really sad.
You know, things are going good.
Yeah.
They're not ideal, of course, but that's life. You know, us old cowpokes,
Oh yeah.
we take it as it comes.
Take it as it comes. That's right.
But yeah, you know,
That's right.
I'm excited as well. There's some
yeah.
things in the upcoming weeks that are going to be happening. Some changes for the channel,
Mhm.
and you know, I'm right now brainstorming on a new format that I want to bring.
Yes.
And yeah, you know, it's just exciting because it's like
Yeah.
I think of myself as someone, you know, not very creative, or kind of like more of like, I think that my brain is very creative, but at the time that my brain wants to transmit that information to my hands or my mouth, or you know, to express it,
Yeah.
brain.exe stops functioning.
I see.
And
Okay.
and then things are not delivered quite like I like them.
Right.
But it's been something that it's the channel has definitely helped me a lot. Just like, you know what, I know I'm not good at editing. I'm not good at like video games or stuff, but yet I'm doing it because I like it. So it's like, we're doing the podcast, and it's, I have fun recording, I have fun editing, and the final product, if we get lots of views or few views, are basically an add-on.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm kind of like a bit scared but excited at the same time of what's gonna be happening in the upcoming weeks. But
nice.
For today we have a movie.
We do, and it's quite a movie. Of course, with anime, it's steeped in Japanese culture and history,
and especially because it's one of those stories that it's very simple and emblematic.
Ooh,
that dude that has to take the Wonder Child somewhere. And like we've seen it a lot recently, like Mandelorian and The Last of Us. Like, just to name a few of them.
Oh right, yeah.
That is like, it's just
a tried and true
story.
formula. Yeah, exactly. And and you're absolutely right. And it's not like one culture is putting that type of story out there. It's all sorts of stories that do that all over the world. This one is called Sword of the Stranger, or Sutorengia Mokuheiden.
Yep.
Which is a original anime from 2007. So it's been around for quite some time.
It's pretty old.
It is pretty old.
Yeah. How do you find it though?
So I kind of so what happened was I like going through lists of anime, of like anime blah blah blah, or like greatest anime of or like what are the best anime of certain decades and whatnot.
Okay.
So I go through quite a few lists just to see what's there. Of course, like there's a lot of ones that are almost always on some of the lists that you can rattle off, like top 10 of all time or whatever. But I think this one has just come up a few times from what I've seen, looking at like great anime, and I was drawn to this one since it is kind of like an old one, and of course it's samurai, so I was like, oh, I should keep this in my radar to try it eventually.
Yeah, so I'm
glad we.
Yeah, I definitely have sometimes like a soft spot for those historical and samurai ones. Taken like Samurai Champloo.
Yeah.
What's the name of this other one? I had it in here.
Samurai 7.
Dororo.
Oh, okay. Dororo.
Yeah, Dororo, Samurai 7, or like this other one with Balsa that we talk about. Moribito.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, sometimes I have like a soft spot for those type of animes, but a lot of times I try to avoid them because it's like, man, I'm just gonna get really engrossed in those,
right?
And I really have stuff to do, so.
Oh yes, true, and yes, and that's another thing. It is so. You get so engrossed in those stories, and of course, I just came from watching Shogun from Hulu, so I was like, oh man, like historical type anime, and so I was like, okay, let's give it a go, and man, this is quite the story. It is simple, as we said. You won't find romance, you won't find comedy really, and there's not even a whole lot of story, you could probably even say. There's
for
like
a
one
really
flashback.
Good chunk, or at least as far as background goes, we don't know a lot about the main characters really. We just like like the traditional stuff. Like yeah, they wanna hurt the Wonder Boy or the
Yep.
Wonder Girl. In this case, the Wonder Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And you have your main hero
Yeah.
that he is like so hardcore and good on you name it, swordmanship, marksmanship,
Yeah.
just like good old 1-2.
Yeah.
And
And
you
they have
also
to
sometimes
protect
you don't know a
the
lot of
kid.
the past of these until you know a certain
Ooh,
portion, and it's not
yeah.
even sometimes like a flashback. It's sometimes just like
Yeah.
words that some of the other characters are like, oh yeah, this dude used to be like a freaking killer, and then he can like mellow down because
Right.
something happened.
Right.
And you know it's the exact same
that
thing
builds up the story.
yeah,
the
it's the exact
character.
same thing that happens
Yeah.
here, and you know that
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. And you know we've said it before, cliches are good.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how you execute the cliche.
Exactly.
And with this one, the way it starts, it's
Oh yes.
it's really confusing to be honest.
It is very confusing
Because you just see a kid. You have a kid, and there's like some sort of monk,
yeah.
and they're like running away from somewhere.
Right.
And the monk tells him like,
actually,
"Hey, you should go to this temple. Here, have some money and take."
Or well, not even money. It was the
like a jade, right? Like a
yes,
jade
yeah.
ornament or something like that. And like, yeah, pay with this, and yeah, take the dog. I'll meet you there. Yeah. And you're like,
that's it.
Sure, okay.
So yeah, you're thrown into it, and even I was kind of, I was almost put off by the camera perspective where we aren't even looking at them at first. We're on this camera trail, like we're on this trail, and you're in the view of the camera, and you're just like zooming along, and that's it. Oh, it was fascinating. But yeah, that's how it starts, and then also one of those early scenes right after, we get a band of people going along in red cloaks, and they're on a rocky trail. But then there's this band of bandits,
I guess.
and they're like, oh, they're our next mark. Let's go get him. Yeah, let's go get him. And they're in a strategic spot, right? They're on the rocks. They've got the arrows. They have the jump on them, and they just start killing the people, the caravan, I guess.
Yeah, people from part of the caravan that were not on, on red cloaks.
Oh yes, exactly.
And yeah, this part was interesting because the beginning I thought that they were the same, but it's kind of like same part of the same organization.
Oh, I see.
But it turns out that
they're different.
The people on the red cloaks were from China, and the people that were kind of like on these, I guess, some sort of like coats made out of like straw or something.
Oh yes, yeah.
They were Japanese, and
right.
some of the Japanese guards were killed, but these dudes in red cloaks are freaking crazy. Like just one of them started soloing all of them.
Right, and the other guys were like, "Oh, this guy can take them. No worries, we'll just sit back." And I was like, "Whoa, man!" They're getting obliterated. The bandits.
The bandits like end up like the leader of the band just like loses composure and starts attacking recklessly, and he ends up losing his life against this one guy that soloed everyone. And this guy is a blunt one, and he just says like, this is the level of the warriors here. He's kind of like disappointed.
Yeah.
And then we kind of like, I can assume that a few days have passed, and you don't know a lot, but you have again this kid that was running away, still in fish. He's at the shrine.
Yeah.
Or he goes back to an abandoned shrine, and it's with his dog. What was the name of the Tobimaru?
Yep, Tobimaru. And it's just the boy and his dog surviving in the wilderness, and making his way to the temple from the other guy, the monk that he saw earlier. But when he gets back to his base, he sees this guy just sleeping in the ruins, and he's super chill. I think that's what I noticed first, that he was just very relaxed, and he's not easily flustered or provoked.
The kid is a complete opposite
of
this guy.
Yeah, he flares up at the guy. He has a pretty bad temper, and he just keeps saying like, "Hey, like, you better leave. Like, this is
I don't quite remember. Was he like a noble or something? The kid?
The kid?
Or was he kind of like part of the shrine,
monks?
or like part of the monks? That's the part that I got a little confused. Because like,
I don't think he was a noble. He didn't seem like it.
Well, the thing is that he also didn't seem like a monk, especially because
this is true.
How bratty he was.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I might have to rewatch it to really get what was going on, because I know he mentioned his parents to the stranger later on.
I think he was like a noble or something
parents.
Like that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because he did say that his parents, I think, were killed as well, and he was kind of like one of the last survivors. But yeah, this kid is really arrogant, and he's.
Oh yes.
I mean, he's a kid. Like he's a scared kid. He's also wary of strangers.
Oh, definitely.
So I guess like one of the defense mechanisms of his is just being a brat.
Yeah.
and especially with a dude that doesn't seem that he can hurt a fly.
Yeah.
Because the kid is wearing a different way when he's ambushed by some of the people that from the same organization that were killed just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, those guys, they come and they basically surround. They go to the entrances of the ruins, and they knock out the kid, which I thought was pretty dirty. Like, they used a rock and threw it at the kid. The kid was down. So they're obviously trying to take Kotaurou. But the stranger, he's at the entrance, and he's blocking one of them from coming in, and he's telling them, hey, like, this is not the way you're supposed to, like, treat a kid. Like, this is wrong. But they're
not saying that he doesn't deserve it. Just say.
Oh, right. That's right. And yeah, this is, and then a fight breaks out, and it's a pretty cool fight. I think the fights in this movie are really, really awesome. So this one, it goes down, and the stranger, he takes the other guys out, even when his blade is still sheathed. Like, he even does like a finishing blow where he he basically crushes the guy's throat, and boy, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. It's like, I mean, yes. you clearly know that it's a statement of why he doesn't like unshed his sword, but still he's like he's still dealing pretty good damage.
Oh yes, sure is.
So it's like, if his statement was just like, I'm just not gonna cut them. If I kill them, I'm gonna beat them to death. He's like,
right.
Okay, we got this statement.
Yes.
Because if his statement was like, I'm not gonna kill anyone with the sword, he's like, yeah, buddy. Like,
yeah, man.
But yeah. Anyways, like, something that confused me during the movie were the factions, and let's just set it straight. In here we have, I guess, like the Shogun. Mm-hmm. Or I guess you could say the Shogun, because it was back in the Sengoku era. It was still when Japan had feudal lords that were aiming to become the want to unify, but a lot of times they were just leaders of small portions of land.
Yeah.
And we have one of these leaders, and his followers are the guys that are wearing the straw cloaks.
Yep.
Then we have Chinese people from the Ming dynasty, and they are the ones looking for the kid.
That's right.
And you know, the Japanese people from the shogun or from this feudal lord, they are helping the Chinese, the Ming dynasty. But then their plan is to betray the Ming dynasty just so that they can have the kid. They don't know why they don't know why they want the kids, but they're like, yeah, you know, probably that kid is pretty useful, so we'll take it for us.
We'll
it's
take
like,
it for ourselves, yeah.
Okay. And you know, from the get-go, we see that even though they are working together, they are not working together.
Yes.
Because the moment that Kotaurou was first attacked, you know, there are these feudal guys that are getting confronted by Nanashi.
Yeah.
That's the stranger's name, which, you know, Nanashi is technically no name. And then you see these red cloak guys that are attacking indiscriminately to anyone, even to the feudal lord's guys.
Yeah.
And you know, on the first battle that dude got his throat crushed, they decide to go to another village because Tobimaru was poisoned.
Sadly.
And on the village that they take Tobimaru to an apothecary while he is recovering. Nanashi, he is a man of war. Like, you don't know yet.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know that with all of his plans of, you know, changing the saddles and kind of like keeping a low profile, you know that he's an experienced guy. But, you know, even while they are hiding out, I guess he just really has bad luck.
He really does. On his way back, while crossing a bridge, he runs into some of the Chinese guys, but specifically the foreigner, the blonde-haired guy. And he's a dangerous type of guy where he just attacks Nanashi for no reason, just so he could have a good time and like go in a fight. And man, it's a wild fight, because there's a guy on the shore of the river fishing, just like minding his own business. But I thought it was so cool how the fight only lasted for like the time that the guy was like, he got a bite from the fish, and then the whole fight was like he was trying to catch the fish. I was like, no way. Like, the timing is just, it's just the anticipation and the suspense is just heightened because of that. Like, they didn't have to do that. It was of no consequence to show the guy fishing, but it just lined up perfectly, and I was like, wow. But yeah, something happens with the Chinese side, so the blonde-haired guy, he's called Wei.
Yeah, they're called Wei, and it's like,
his name
I was
like
starting to have
Lo
fun,
Long
and Nanashi was like, dude, what the freak?
Yeah, right. Like he attacked
I was
me,
minding my own business.
I think he noticed that he wasn't gonna draw a sword.
Oh yeah, because he called him out, like, hey, get your sword out. And all the time that he was fighting with his shit. But yeah, you know, from then on, we have a pretty chill development.
Oh yeah,
because as far as Nanashi, Kotaurou, and Tobimaru go, they're just continuing their journey to the temple. And you know, they're connecting a little more. They're opening up a little bit more. They have a good client employer relationship, because the kid promised to give him the pendant, the jade pendant, if he would take him to the temple. And they're just at the onsen, and they're like on the horse, and it's pretty chill. It's like okay, this is good.
He teaches him a
in
little
the
bit
meantime,
of
kind of like
horse
on the other side again with the
Ooh,
Chinese
yes.
and the feudal lord.
There's a lot of tension.
There's a lot of tension because the feudal lord, he kidnapped one of the Chinese guys and started torturing him to find out what's the purpose of the kid.
Yep.
And at the same time, the Chinese, like here and there, are killing some soldiers from the feudal lord, and none of them are like really have any idea of what the other is doing, or so you think.
Yeah.
And so they think, and at the same time, you see that some priests are being threatened or bought, if you will. They were more, I guess, like the main leaders were bought, and the others were
and then the others
threatened.
were threatened. Yeah, that's how it works. The trickle down.
Yeah, we're skipping a lot of things, but
yes,
Nanashi manages to drop Kotauro to the temple, and they're like, "You did a great job." Kotauro it's not a brat anymore.
Yeah,
they're like,
he reunites with the monk we saw at the beginning.
Yeah, and he leaves.
And he leaves.
Happy note.
That's right.
Or so we think.
And man, and I was even like, oh, I'm at the edge of my seat. I'm like, oh, we have like this much of the movie left.
Right.
What the heck? Like, this is it. Something's gonna go bad. And of course, something goes bad the next scene. Kotaurou, he's let in, and he's like, oh, he doesn't really like. He's not alarmed yet, but he notices something is kind of wrong with just how he's being treated. And then we see the main priest come in, and then we see one of the red cloaks right behind him, and then Kotaurou starts panicking. He tries to escape, but then they come in. Kudos to him, he bites a finger off of one of the guys. Oh man, yeah, I was just blown away by that. So yeah, but the
betrayal, brother. Betrayal. It's top betrayal. 10 anime betrayals.
Yes, yeah. And then a fight ensues though from the Japanese, from the feudal lord side. Some of them come in, and this is the crucial moment before Kotarou's taken away, so they think they could still like take it for themselves or something like that.
Yeah,
because they now know it's some sort of medicine from the torture. It did work in the end. Sadly for the Chinese guy, he got bumped off. And then one of the feudal lord guys, he's sent away to tell the news that it's not enough. Like, they're still too strong to overcome. And then Nanashi, he sees that and he turns around. Boy.
Oh yeah, I guess he was just like
it was happenstance.
Yeah, his sense.
Yeah,
of like how experienced he was with these, or with in the battlefield.
Right.
But he was like, wait,
something's wrong here.
Seems too peaceful here. And he does see a few of the red cloaks and starts engaging them.
That's right.
Like, those guys lose him.
Yep.
And it's just like, damn, it's like how could I be so idiot as to kind of like relieve them? He has an interesting exchange with the monk.
Mm-hmm.
I really like, and especially because it's about Buddhism and the monks themselves.
Yes.
Because you've seen it in other animes, and with the little I know about monks and Buddhism, is like they would put their morals, their codes first,
right,
before their lives.
Right.
But in this one, they put their lives first before their codes.
And even the main priest guy. He
Yeah,
says,
even the main priest.
We gotta protect the temple before our principles or morals or whatever. And yeah, and it was really surprising because yeah, it's supposed to be very much like the path that you're supposed to live by. That's the rule. But Nanashi, he confronts the guy and he says like, hey, like, well, he basically confronts him, and the monk's defense is, well, there are orders, like, and he even says, well, what would you have chosen? Command to obey the command, or live by principle? And he's like, it's an easy choice. You would have done the same.
It's
right?
like, dude, you're a monk. It's like monks are supposed to stand by their principles.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially in this type of thing, and and yeah, Nanashi actually hesitated, and you know, we will see in a little bit or later, because Nanashi, he is not a monk. He's a warrior. He's more specifically, he's a Ronin.
Exactly.
A Ronin, it's a samurai with no master, because the master was killed, and because his master was killed, he basically lost his honor.
Right, and that's the whole thing about samurai, is that they live and they fight for their lord, and their lord is law for them. Literally, like they have to do everything the Lord says, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole idea behind seppuku too, because it's that idea that, you know, the Lord is their command and their whole reason of living. So yeah, he lost that way. And do we see the flashback then?
No, we see the flashback. We see the flashback
Well,
just a little after. Yeah, because he tells the monk, you are like, you are lower than a dog.
Yeah,
you don't deserve to wear the sash, because you know the sash is that symbol of a monk, of a religious person, or like even it's a symbol of all that he stands or should stand for.
Yeah. So he
cuts it. He cuts it, and in this moment we see that he uses his sword.
He uses somebody else's sword. I think it was a sword he picked up.
Yeah, I think you're right, but so far, like, he has been avoiding cutting with the sword.
That's right. At this point he cuts with the sword.
And so, you know, he decides to run. You know, luckily Tobimaru still there. You know, like, you gotta hand it to dogs in shows. Like, they're pretty smart. Like, even like CX404 in Fallout.
Oh yes.
It's like, freaking dog. He found everything.
Oh yeah.
But again, like, Tobimaru knew where Kotauro was being taken, because it turns out that they want Kotaro's blood because I guess his bloodline is known for
or well, there's a ritual.
Yeah, there's a ritual where they can
immortality.
Yeah, for, like, you know, an immortality medicine. And the Ming Dynasty, which, you know, I'm not surprised. Ming Dynasty is like they wanted it for their emperor.
Oh yes.
And you know that's why they sent this old dude and this group of red cloak guys to get the kid at all cost.
Yeah.
And that's why they want to do. They have it at the top of a huge tower.
Yeah.
In a camp, and they have to wait. I guess it was like at midnight or so.
Something like that. Yeah. To do this.
Yeah, to go for the kill. Yeah. Like, and harvest whatever they needed for this messed up medicine.
Right. So they need to wait for now to do this sacrifice, and they're basically just hunkering down for the last stretch. Nanashi and Tobimaru, they take quite some time to get there, and we see more development on the feudal lord's side. The lord himself was kidnapped by the Chinese people. So it's like, okay, now the whole thing has gone to crap. I mean, they already have Kotaru, so so they're like, okay, whatever, we're just gonna take him and hold him hostage.
Yeah, and one of the officials from the feudal lord, and you know, I'm also not surprised because this seems pretty historically accurate. There were a lot of samurais or you know, people in power in Japan that they just wanted more power, and you know, even if they were to the service of someone, when they deem him kind of like unworthy of being in power
or unfit to continue,
they were like, okay,
I see,
cut him off. Let's go with the next one that has power that can lead us to victory. Because you know, the Chinese were like, let's show them that we captured their feudal lord, and we'll tell them, stand your ground. And you know,
and they'll listen to us.
Yeah, the official was like, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Anyways, shoot him. Yeah, and like they shoot him. Like, you know, the Chinese were like, what just happened? It's like,
right.
This was not supposed to happen.
Like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So now they're like, the hostage. What hostage? We don't see a hostage.
Yeah. Don't move. We'll kill the hostage. Don't worry. We'll help you out.
We'll take care of it. Oh man. Yeah. Man. I guess one other thing, the monk, we found out committed suicide. He hung himself. So I thought that, backing up a little, I thought that was really telling, because even though he was saying to Nanashi, hey, like, what are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna obey the commands? Like, or else, what if the Lord kills you? Or I don't know what the consequence would
well,
be.
You know, because at the end he was like, oh crap, I broke my code.
Right.
Because he's like, he
hung himself for that. I thought that was so.
You know what? It was him. Like, no, I was so afraid of losing my life. And he's like,
I broke my code.
And everything that I stand for, and like I'm just a sham.
Yeah.
And you know,
my
like,
gosh, I thought that was so telling, because Nanashi, of course, he already left, so he doesn't find out really. Maybe later, but yeah, I thought that was incredible. It's like that could be construed as like the whole moral of the story. Like, is it worth abandoning your own beliefs for your honor? And for Nanashi, of course, his decision of going to save Kotauro, he's basically he's trying to live a life where he's going to do what he thinks is right, instead of just doing whatever your superiors are telling you to do. So
because that is something that he struggles with. It's like, you know, while a battle starts ensuing with the former feudal lord,
and what a fight it is.
What was the name of this guy? Shogu.
Which guy?
Shoga.
Oh, Itadori.
Shogun.
Yeah, Shogun Itadori. Him.
Yes, Shogun Itadori. Like, now his army, they start a fight in this camp. On the other side, Nanashi, he kind of like sees that a battle is going on, so he takes another way. One of the buildings falls.
Yep.
On top of him.
Yep. And now this is where we see the full flashback. Yeah.
And not quite there. Because, you know, like, we can't even see it clearly.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yes,
I
because
thought that was
blurry.
I thought that was great, because great storytelling, because it was like blurry. That means that you still cannot accept, or at least Nanashi was still not accepting. He didn't want to see it, like what he has done, like, and it was him in a war, and he pretty much lost his lord and his family, and
Mm-hmm.
he had to do some really messed up stuff, like killing some kids or stuff like that. And that's the reason of why he was like, oh crap, those were kind of like my principles. My
Right.
principles were following my lord, or like winning the war, using the
Right.
sword to cut everyone down, and there's like, and I cut everyone down, and
Yeah.
then I'm feeling miserable.
Yeah. Oh my
So
gosh.
after we start seeing all of these blurry, faceless people,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of like starts accepting, because he remembers like the kid, and he's like, okay, yeah, maybe if I can save that kid, it's it's not gonna be an atonement, but it's
Oh,
definitely
yes,
gonna
yes,
be
yes.
kind of like a step in the right direction.
Yes.
And he
Yeah.
decides to unsheath, like, the
Yeah.
bandages that his sword had. He
Yeah.
decides to take them down, and it's like, oh, it's
And
like,
to unsheath it. Yeah. Oh, so cool.
so yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
starts to make his way uh to find Kotauro.
Yep.
And oh man, like
Yeah.
this dude was a monster.
Oh
Because
yes.
you're like, I mean, for starters, a freaking building fell on him.
Yeah. I know, right? And he's still going.
And yeah, he just starts running, and one of the
Yeah.
red cloaks, the one that was tortured by the shogun, I think it
Oh.
was him.
Oh. Okay.
He sees him
Uh,
because he had previously kind of like engaged um, Nanashi, and he was like, "Ah, this dude, I'm gonna take him." And
right.
Nanashi is like, "Move." I said move.
Yeah.
And she was like, that really
Yeah.
cool anime move of like,
Yeah.
and the good just like,
oh yes. Oh, incredible. He's just crumpled up, just tossed to the side.
and then just like a freaking
cool.
boss. He just like
yeah.
reaches apart. He sees that that the kid is about to be sacrificed, and he just like,
he lobs his sword. Oh man, so cool. Yeah, just boss moves. And so he's going. He's trying to reach Kotaru. And then we see tons of people dying on the ground. Everyone's falling, and then even Itadori, he starts fighting the foreigner, and he's like, okay, I'm not gonna use a sword. I'm more skilled in the lance, with the spear. And he starts fighting him, and man, it's a way crazy fight. He's holding his own, but then I think he does get his weapon cut in half or something.
yeah, he gets his weapon cut in half. Then the dude kind of like
he
manages to put him on his knee and sticks a dagger on his neck.
And then he just keeps going.
Yeah, the dude is pretty hardcore.
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. But then what happens next?
Yeah, what happened next? I guess the other priest from the Ming dynasty.
Just like shoots him in the chest.
Just kills him, and the foreigner is like, dude.
Right. He kind of gives him the cold eye, like the death glare, I guess.
Yeah, because by this time, the deadline, if you will,
yes,
for harvesting the kid's blood has passed.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, we missed an opportunity like this won't come in like in 100 years, but take the kid. We'll see what we can do.
Right.
And like most everyone is dead, and just really just like the elites. For the red cloaks, how many people are there?
There are
4?
At least 4, because it's the 2. Well, let's see here.
3. I think it's 3, right?
Okay,
3 or 4.
Yeah, because he fights 2 at once after he, after he threw the sword, he gets close, but then the 2 people come up and they start fighting him, and
and then the foreigner, I guess.
The foreigner too,
yeah, okay.
But then, so the 2 of them, they fight him, but then he holds his own, even after he gets blinded by a spray of blood, and So he takes care of them, but then one of the girls, she's kind of still hanging on. She's still alive.
Yeah, he has the freaking sword in the back.
Right.
He's like, "Where's my sword? Where's my like?"
Yep. And the foreigner is like, not even dealing with it.
Yeah, the foreigner like,
he's just like only.
Oh my, why did you?
Yeah. He's only interested in Nanashi, and this is an incredible part. It gets to the point where Nanashi is on the ground, and
he still has blood in his eyes.
And the old guy, he's getting close with the gun, and he basically says, he's basically coming down for the kill shot, right? And he's starting to aim, and then the foreigner looks over, and he slashes him, the old guy, and so now
the old guy was like, huh? Yeah, and the arm was like,
yep.
Like, I'm pretty sure my elbow is not inverted.
That's supposed to go that way. And
yeah, you know, the old dude loses his mind because he's like, "Oh, you're betraying us! Like, you want the immortality for yourself." And the foreigner is like, "No, I'm just here because, you know, I'm a psychopath and I'm a battle junkie."
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, that guy, he's the one. He killed a dude from God knows where, but he threw a sword. Then he killed 2 of the other guys while protecting the kid.
Yep.
And I'm assuming that he was saying that because he was like, yeah, those 2 guys, or like guy and girl that he killed were pretty skilled.
Yeah, they were like the best of the best and whatnot.
And you know, and he didn't know again that the dude had a freaking building following him.
Oh yes. Yeah, he didn't even see that. So like, my god!
If Nanashi would have been in top condition, the foreigner would have kicked the bucket. Like,
yeah, he would not have
faster. But you know, this guy is like, he is about to give him some medicine. Is like,
right,
take it, pain, go away. He's like, no. I like to feel pain. It makes me feel alive. It's like, oh, that's really hardcore. A bit concerning. Yes. But really hardcore.
Let's do this.
Yeah. You know, because it kind of feel like a video game. That is like, you know, the actual final boss battle. That is like, you fight all the bosses and you're like really low on HP. And then you find the last battle and you just recover some HP and you just have to...
You just go. Oh, yes. Oh, so true. And what a fight. This is a pretty cool fight. I would say one thing, it's not super clear with this particular fight, but it's still a really awesome fight. They have some clashes. They go back and forth. We're like on the edge of our seats, not knowing what's going to happen, who's going to come on top. They exchange cuts, and Nanashi, it looks like he is not he's not doing well with like a gash in his leg, but then the foreigner is like,
again, he had a freaking building.
Right, yeah.
That's the part that I just kept thinking. It was like,
yeah,
how is that guy still walking? And you know, he was still managing to, you know, make some cuts on the foreigner, and the foreigner is like,
yeah.
You did what, mate?
I'm bleeding.
He's like, wait, I bleed?
Yeah.
And you know, they're just preparing for the last clash. I think the foreigner breaks his sword at some point.
He does, yeah.
And you know, they fall from a platform, and they were ready to just, you know, the last thrust, in which they were just like, and at this point I thought both of them were gonna take each other.
I thought so too, yeah.
Because I was like, oh freak.
Right,
and you know, that actually happened. Really close. And you see like the sword from the foreigner was actually going for the right place. but Nanashi still had the jade pendant.
Yep.
So it kind of like hit the jade pendant and moved the trajectory of the sword.
Yes.
Making just like him receive like a light cut.
Blow. Yeah.
And it fell with a little bit of blood, but Nanashi actually managed to turn him into.
It's just go on.
Yeah.
You skewered him pretty good. And
then he was like,
and he just twists a little bit.
This is the screwdriver.
No. Oh god.
And
he makes sure.
They step away, and the guy is like, this is the first time that I'm injured. It hurts.
It's very
strange. And he would just kneel down and he's like, give me 5 minutes and I'll get back to you and we can resume our food. It was this freaking guy that was just like, he just wanted a battle.
Exactly, yeah. I guess he had some sort of like lonely. It's that idea when someone is so good, they become lonely, kind of like Saitama, where nobody else matches them. Well, he took it to the extreme. He had like a syndrome or something.
Yeah, I like these characters, because he didn't have a goal.
Compelling.
He was just like straight up chaotic.
Oh, definitely.
He was like, oh no, I don't want a kid. He was like, I just want a good match.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of scary in itself, and it's a good thing that he was a bad guy.
Oh well, yes, yeah. Usually when you get that, well, yeah, he was definitely that guy, psychopath. Quite fascinating. Yeah, I would. Yes, definitely a compelling way of having a character be so consumed by the thrill of the battle. That's all they think about.
Yeah, because he's all of his senses and I guess principles and his ego. It's all just now battle focus of like, oh yeah, I'm super strong. I just need someone stronger and like I'll do whatever it takes. Like Aoi's enemies. I don't know what's that. Because he was an even faced when his companions were dying. He was just like,
Ooh, right.
He took down these guys. Impressive. And on the other hand, we had Nanashi that he was at the same, even at a better level than him.
Oh yeah.
But he was traumatized for all the stuff that he did, and he didn't want someone stronger to battle. He wanted peace.
Right. He just wanted to not fight, and yeah, for the sake of Kotaurou. So cool. He was so cool.
And Kotaurou, like I remember, like just before the battle, Kotaurou was like,
"Oh yes,
told you I didn't like people to make me wait."
Oh yes.
I get mad really easily. It's like,
oh yes.
Sure, kid. Sure, and that was the end. The end was like, I guess both of them just like end up together. Like your standard, hero and boy wonder type of story.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a really nice ending. I liked. Well, other than they were the last survivors, the only survivors. They got to survive and live off and go. Poor horse. they must have driven it like to the ground, but they were still going. So yeah, it was a nice ending. Tobimaru still there too, so I like that too.
Yeah, as long as nothing bad happens. Yeah, that's fine. It's like it's a 10.
Yes.
If that's not bad, it's like don't even watch. They kill the dog.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that was it for this week. Thank you all for watching.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next week. Keep watching anime.
Yeah.
Matane.
See ya.